Hey, what's up my fellow foodies? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Reggie's World. So glad to see you guys. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very, very delicious Louisiana dish, red beans and rice. Some of you may have tried it, some of you may not have. I know myself, when I was growing up and my folks would cook red beans and rice all the time, as a young boy I was like, I don't really want red beans and rice. I'd rather have some chicken nuggets or some french fries or, something else. But when I got older and I tried those red beans and rice, those creamy, delicious red beans and rice, boy, I tell you, I learned a true appreciation for it. So those of you who have that same appreciation, I'm going to show you today exactly how you can duplicate that recipe, make it at home yourself. You don't have to go to Popeyes and get those knockoff red beans and rice. No. I'm going to show you how to make the real deal, all right? So pull up a chair, listen, take notes. I'm going to show you exactly what to do step by step. All right, let's go. Alright, so let's start off with what we're going to need. We're first going to need your Trinity, which is your onion, celery, and bell pepper. You use this in all Cajun and Creole cooking. You're going to need some smoked sausage, some salt meat, some bacon, some thyme. You're going to need some seasoned salt, garlic salt. Of course, you need the red beans. I like Camellia brand red beans. They are the best. But any red beans will do if you don't have Camellia brand beans in your store. You want to soak those beans overnight. Or if you don't have time to soak them overnight, you can just go ahead and throw them in the pot when it's time to cook. But soaking them cuts down on the cooking time drastically. So I recommend rinsing them and then soaking them for at least 8 hours, okay? Alright, so then you're going to go ahead and start chopping your Holy Trinity. Chop up your celery and your onions and your bell pepper. Now, I don't really chop these all the way. I just kind of cut them up and dice them, and then I throw them into my Ninja. Now, the Ninja is a beast. It really does a really fine job chopping up everything and making it really fine. Because I don't want big chops of big pieces of onions and bell pepper in my stuff. So I use the Ninja to get it to the consistency that I like. Now, the important thing to remember here is you do not want to chop it too fine. You don't want to turn it into a mush, because if you do that, you're going to basically have a paste that you're going to put in your soup and your beans, and you don't want that. It's going to be too thick and mushy, and they're going to talk about you. So don't do that. Just pulse it a little bit, and if there's some big pieces left, just pull them out and discard them. Or if you want to take a knife and chop them up, you can do that as well. But yeah, go ahead and mix everything together, your onion, celery, and bell pepper, and then go ahead and turn your fire on. You want to put it over say medium-high heat. Then you want to take your salt meat, drop it in the pan. You want to take your bacon and drop it in there as well. And you want that fat to render. You want to hear that nice sizzling sound. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret that the old folks used to teach. You want it to burn just a little bit. You want those burnt drippings to stay behind in the pan. When they stay behind, it takes the flavor to a whole nother level. It'll make you want to slap your mama. But I wouldn't recommend doing that, because if your mother's anything like mine, she'll grab a bag and whack you right back. But I'll tell you who you can slap. Your doctor, because if you eat like this every day, your blood pressure's gonna be high. He's gonna get on you. Promise you that. All right, let's go ahead and take our Trinity and drop it into the pan. Take that bacon out first, though, because we don't want the bacon floating in our beans and rice. So drop your Trinity in. Go ahead and mix it in real good. Let it get that sizzling going on. All right, you can actually leave that be for a little while and go ahead and chop up your sausage. Chop them up quarter-wise, lengthwise as well, to little cubes, and go ahead and drop those into the Trinity when they're ready. Give it a nice good stirring. Listen to that sizzle. Y'all, this smells so good in here right now, I tell you. All right, go ahead and take your thyme as well, or your thyme rather. Drop that into the pot as well, and put your smoked meat in as well. Keep that fire hot. Don't be afraid of the heat. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen, baby. Because like I said, we want that little bit of burnt crust to stay behind the pan. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to get our seasonings ready to throw in here as well. Now for this recipe, I use a little bit of Lawry's, I use a little bit of garlic salt, and I also use a little bit of essence. Now this video is good to show you the technique, but if you want the exact measurements and the exact amounts that I've used, if you're a subscriber, you can request the exact recipe from me and I'll get that sent right over to you. Alright, so let's go ahead and add in our seasonings. Y'all, I wish I could smell this right now. This is so good. This is making me so hungry. I can't wait till this is finished. I'm about to tie this beans and rice up. So yes, go ahead and drop those seasonings in there, and as you're mixing everything in, make sure you get everything coated nicely so you get that sear on the pork meat, on the salt meat. Make sure everything gets seared nicely. And that garlic is going to also help to give it a nice little burnt crust as well. Alright, so when you finish this business, what you're going to do now is you're going to add in your chicken stock and your water. And you want to fill your pan to about halfway full. It really doesn't matter how much water you put in because it's going to evaporate anyway. So just add your water. And as you're adding your water, you're going to go ahead and get your beans ready. You're going to go ahead and decant the beans, pour off the excess water. And of course, don't forget your okra. We're going to add our okra as well. So go ahead and take your water and pour that into the pot. Add your stock as well. And bring everything to a nice boil. Make sure you get off all that excess water from the beans before you drop it into the pot. And now we're going to bring this to a nice boil. Make sure you stir to get everything mixed in homogeneously. And crank that heat up, baby. Crank it up. 800 degrees. Isn't that what Beyonce said? All right. So 2 more things we're going to add. We're going to add a little bit of sugar. You can use white or brown sugar. And a little bit of baking soda. Now the baking soda, now this is an old trick or a hack as well. Now, so the baking soda, basically it's sodium bicarbonate. The sodium bicarbonate gets rid of the excess gas, so it reacts the gas out. So you know the saying, beans, the magical fruit, the more you eat them, the more you... Actually, you know what, I'm not going to even say that. My mama, she taught me some manners. She took that baseball bat, hit me outside my head, and I learned them manners, boy. But let's just say you won't have any embarrassing moments if you use the baking soda. It'll degas the beans. All right, and the sugar is basically just to balance out the savoriness of the dish, so it gives it a nice balance. And pretty much once you do that, you just want to bring everything to a nice boil. Keep stirring it every now and then, you know, and after about a good hour or so, you're going to want to take a slotted spoon, take some of those beans out, put them into a bowl. And what you're going to do is you're going to mash those beans down. You're going to make a nice little paste. And what this is going to do is going to change the consistency to a nice creamy texture. It's going to still be liquidy, of course, but it's going to be nice and creamy and rich. So delicious. Just wait and see, y'all. All right, so as such, I'm just taking the beans, transferring them over to a little bowl, smashing them up a little bit, make a nice paste, and you're going to transfer that right back to the pot. And of course, if you want to take a little bite and taste and see what the flavor is, feel free to. I know I did. All right. So now that those are back in the pot, you want to go ahead and give it a stir. And after we stir it, make sure it's homogeneous. You're going to decrease the heat just a little bit and let it simmer for a while. Now while it's simmering, I'm going to work on another little side project. I'm actually going to work on some chicken wings. I'm going to work on some cornbread and some rice. And yeah, we're doing the whole works today. All right, so for these wings, I'm going to just tell you how I do these wings. They come out really nice and crispy. I've been soaking them in buttermilk for like 4 hours. And so I also made a batter. The batter is basically eggs, some salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic salt, some Lorry seasoning, emerald, same seasoning we use for the beans. And we're going to take that egg mixture and drop it into the buttermilk. And we're going to give it a nice shape. Mix it up real good. Make sure it gets uniform and homogeneous, okay? And after that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to take each of those wings and we're going to hand bread them one by one. And so now there's a trick here. You want to choke your chicken really hard here. Give it a nice squeeze and a nice tug. And what that's I couldn't even say that with a straight face. I'm sorry, guys. But what that's going to do, when you press that breading into the chicken, it actually seals it really good. So that's how you get that nice professional coating. All right. And so you're only going to fry a few wings at a time because you want your temperature to stay consistent. So drop your wings in, 350 degrees, about 8 to 10 minutes. And when they come out nice and golden brown, you can go ahead and remove them. And guess what? You can serve them with these delicious red beans and rice. Oh my God, y'all, these are so good. Whew. I really do want to start my mama. Mama, put that bat up. I'm going to slap you. But no, guys, I hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you liked it, like and subscribe. And I'll show you guys more recipes. Take care.